Coming up on Citrus TV News live at 6, Syracuse men's and women's basketball teams make it to the Sweet 16.
And President Obama makes a historic visit.
And Citrus TV reporter Joe Leonard tells us about a new upgrade to the city of Syracuse.
Plus, cloudy skies covered campus today, breaking many hearts of those returning from spring break. Will it stick around? Find out next as Citrus TV News starts right now.
From the Citrus TV studios, this is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
Good evening and welcome to Citrus TV News live at 6. I'm Katherine Robinson.
And I'm Josh Bazan. The Syracuse University College of Law announced a new scholarship program. That's where we start tonight. The Syracuse University College of Law now offers a Beau Biden Memorial Scholarship. The fund will provide financial assistance to students who have interest in children's rights, protecting victims of abuse, and helping the most vulnerable in society. Beau Biden graduated from the College of Law in '94 and went on to serve as the Delaware Attorney General. Biden was known for supporting law initiatives while on campus.
The Chancellor's Work Group on Diversity and Inclusion shared their report today with the campus community. The report includes 33 short and long-term recommendations on how to create a more welcoming campus climate. Some recommendations include hiring a Chief Diversity Officer and establishing a Diversity and Inclusion Council. And a Syracuse man was rushed to Upstate University Hospital Sunday night after being shot in his home. Syracuse police arrived at Teal Avenue after a 911 caller reported a shooting Sunday night. 42-year-old Horsan Underwood was carried out on a stretcher and brought to Upstate University Hospital where he is in serious condition but is expected to survive. Police have no suspects so far and are asking that anyone with information about the shooting to contact detectives.
Syracuse's Common Council recently approved the use of a $25,000 grant to refurbish parks across the city. Citrus TV reporter Joe Leonard tells us what changes we can expect.
On a beautiful Thursday afternoon in Syracuse, people like Kofi Kari can be seen throughout the city parks, just taking in the scenery.
Naturally enjoy nature, so when I come here it's so serene and I like the atmosphere. It makes me think, plan.
As the city plans to improve upon some of the stonework throughout these parks, I asked Kari if he would approve of totally new renovations.
And actually they should be improving it, it should be more natural, but I don't think I agree with them.
Luckily for Kari, Councilor Gene Kessner is of the same mind. Kessner recently introduced legislation that would commit $25,000 to survey and refurbish the historic stonework in these parks. Outside her Syracuse home, Kessner explained why she took this project on.
Well, it's of interest to me, and I think to most people who take part and enjoy our parks. We have some fantastic parks.
Most of the stonework in these parks dates back to the 1930s, and given the way nature deteriorates infrastructure, Kessner believes that preserving history is a fundamental duty.
But New York is an old state. I'm from the Midwest. There's so much more here than there is there. We go back so much farther. And I must say that, we do appreciate it, but we need to maintain it.
During the Great Depression, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt created the Works Progress Administration, part of his New Deal. Now, the Works Progress Administration was mainly intended to create jobs for unemployed workers across the country. Here in Syracuse, that mainly consisted of laying stonework in the city parks, just like here in Thorndon Park. Today, that stonework is considered historic, and the City Council is currently fighting to keep that history alive. Reporting for Citrus TV in Syracuse, I'm Joe Leonard.
Coming up after the break, we'll have the highlights of all the political news you might have missed over the break.
And Rebecca Castor will have our full weather forecast.
It's currently 37 degrees here in Syracuse with snow flurries falling off and on throughout the day. Definitely different weather for those returning back to Cuse after visiting tropical places over break. What's the weather going to be like the rest of the week? Find out in my full weather forecast by staying tuned to Citrus TV News.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does.
And like that, you're a job creator.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance, so we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Last Tuesday, Donald Trump furthered his dominance with wins in Florida, Illinois, North Carolina, and Missouri. Governor John Kasich got his first win in his home state of Ohio.
And after losing his own home state, Florida Senator Marco Rubio suspended his campaign for president.
While mathematically impossible for John Kasich to win enough delegates to clinch the nomination, the latest results heighten the hopes for a contested convention.
And with that hope in mind, John Boehner is suggesting that current Speaker of the House Paul Ryan become the GOP nominee in that event.
On the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton got a large bump in her delegate lead over Bernie Sanders after sweeping him in all 5 states.
Despite the uphill battle ahead of him, the Sanders campaign plans on staying in the race until the convention and will attempt to flip superdelegates that are supporting Clinton. Tomorrow, there are 3 more contests in Arizona, Idaho, and Utah.
And outside of the race for the White House, this past week, President Obama announced his nomination for the Supreme Court. Merrick Garland is the chief judge of what is called the second highest court in the land, the D.C. Circuit Court. Garland is largely viewed as a moderate, and his age of 63 is older than most appointees.
Despite these normally appealing qualities for an opposing party, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has stuck with the GOP's original plan of denying a vote on the nomination, instead waiting until the next president takes office before filling the seat. McConnell also noted that the NRA's opposition to Garland was a point of concern.
Some GOP senators, however, have agreed to meet with Garland, a sign of hope for Democrats trying to change the Republican mentality. Donald Trump faces a very important foreign policy test tonight. The Republican frontrunner is scheduled to appear before the largest pro-Israeli lobby in the country.
The lobby is seeking to understand Trump's position on Israel and other issues in the Middle East. Fellow presidential candidates Ted Cruz, John Kasich, as well as Democrat Hillary Clinton will also make appearances at the lobby. And a branch of the EU is at the U.S. Supreme Court today arguing over the U.S. RICO law and its relevance outside the United States.
The law imposes penalties for those involved with organized crime such as gambling, embezzlement, and money laundering.
This comes amid a civil lawsuit that the European community has filed against RJR Nabisco for its involvement with cross-border organized crime.
The El Niño phenomenon is disrupting international weather patterns in industries. Droughts in India and South Africa have forced farmers to find other work.
At the same time, intense rains and flooding have displaced families in Paraguay. The weather causes are changed by weak Pacific trade winds, moving warmer water in the direction of South America.
The warm water causes temperature changes worldwide and thus affects many industries.
A U.S. president is in Cuba for the first time in 88 years. President Obama landed in Cuba yesterday. His visit is part of an overall mission to ease tensions between Cuba and the United States.
The plan involves reducing sanctions against Cuba and increasing travel and trade between the two countries. While polls find 62% of Americans in favor of the policy, many congressional Republicans oppose the plan.
French and Belgian police are continuing to search for suspects connected to the Paris terror attacks.
Authorities are looking for a 24-year-old man who had been in contact with the ringleader of the Paris attacks.
This comes after officials captured another suspect who was arrested on Friday in Brussels after his DNA was found on a suicide belt in Paris. Police are asking the public for sightings of any suspects.
And the process to control migrants entering Greece got off to a rough start on Sunday. Greece and the European Union had put together a deal that would have stemmed the flow of migrants entering Greece.
However, processing centers were severely understaffed as 875 refugees arrived on Greek islands Sunday. Greece is still waiting for 2,300 EU officers to assist in facilitating the migrants.
And tensions on the Korean peninsula continue to rise. South Korean military officials have reported that North Korea fired 5 short-range projectiles on Monday.
The projectiles were fired off the North Korean east coast and flew about 200 kilometers into the sea.
This is the 4th time North Korea has fired projectiles in the last 2 months, and the South Korean military is closely monitoring the situation.
Well, sunshine and snow flurries were both in the forecast today.
Citrus TV weather reporter Rebecca Castor has more on this weird Syracuse weather.
Thanks, Josh and Catherine. Today's weather was definitely confusing. One minute we have snow flurries, the next minute the sun is back out. Seems like Syracuse can't make up its mind. But taking a look at our current temperatures map, we'll see spring temperatures across the nation. Temperatures are even hitting 80 degrees in Kansas, Nevada, and Arizona. A little different here in Syracuse, though, with temperatures still in the 30s. And our Doppler radar shows we have a mix of snow and rain coming in tonight. Showers should end by morning, but cloudy skies will remain. Syracuse, aka Snow City, may still be getting snow, but there's not much snow coverage across the United States. There's still some heavy snow on the west coast, perfect for families who are taking spring vacations out west to go skiing. And like our Doppler radar showed, tonight we're in for some more snow flurries. Flurries are expected to start falling around 7 p.m. The low is 26 degrees with 18-mile-per-hour winds. And taking a look at our 5-day forecast, we'll see that we're in for a pretty mild week temperature-wise. Tomorrow we have a high of 48 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Wednesday we're going to have rain come in, 80% chance of showers with a high of 46 degrees. Thursday the rain's going to continue, 70% chance of rain with a high of 59. And Friday that rain is going to turn to snow as the temperature decreases to 38 degrees. But we have a pretty nice day in store for us on Saturday with sunny skies and a high of 48 degrees.
Rebecca, I can't believe we are still talking about snow. How much can we expect tonight?
Well, tonight it's only expected to snow flurry for about 2 to 3 hours, so we probably won't even see snow on the ground when we wake up, but if we do, it's only going to be a light dusting.
Rebecca, I gotta say, it's already spring, late March. Why is it still snowing? What's going on?
Yeah, the snow we're having in this week is from the winter storm Celine that was named this week. It's coming into hitting the upper east New England area, so that's where the snow's coming in this week, but we shouldn't expect snow for too much longer.
That's good to hear. Thanks, Rebecca. Coming up after the break, Apple released their new iPhone products.
And we'll tell you about what one culture is doing to keep their language alive. We'll be right back.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness. I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. You get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes you.
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Amazon is continuing its fight to get government approval for drone delivery. The company proposed using drone technology to increase delivery speeds. Airline and pilot groups have expressed fears of opening the sky to commercial drones, causing safety risks. Meanwhile, Amazon has met with NASA to establish lanes in an air traffic system in the sky for drones. In the 2013 documentary Blackfish shed light on SeaWorld's orca breeding program, raising concerns with animal rights activists and general consumers. On Thursday, SeaWorld announced the end of that program, making the 24 orcas currently in captivity their last generation. Those in captivity, however, will still remain so, as CEO Joel Manby stated that it would be too difficult to return them to the wild. With struggling stock prices after the public backlash, the announcement resulted in a 9% boost on Thursday. And Apple revealed its newest products today in a press conference. A new 4-inch iPhone called the iPhone SE was revealed. The new iPhone has enhanced graphics and stronger security features. A new iPad Pro and a price cut to the Apple Watch were also among the announcements at the press conference. Pre-orders for the iPhone SE and the new iPad Pro start on March 24th.
Cuba is preparing itself for an influx of American tourists, and one American hospitality chain is leading the way. Starwood Hotels and Resorts agreed to fix up and maintain 2 Cuban hotels at a time when Cuba's hotels are mostly outdated and overbooked. Starwood's vice president said this is a pivotal move and one that will create new expectations for the quality of Cuban hotels. And this past Friday, a Navajo language version of the hit Pixar movie Finding Nemo aired in select theaters across Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah. This is only the second time that a major film has been translated for the people of the Navajo language nation. The other dubbed film was another Disney work back in 2013, Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. The Navajo people hope this film will help keep the language alive. And a research group in the UK is left shaking its head after asking the internet to name its newest boat. The Natural Environmental Research Council is trying to name a new state-of-the-art UK shipping vessel. After posting a poll online to generate ideas, the top-rated name, Boaty McBoatface. The group hoped to generate inspiring names, but internet voters and others had other plans. Another leading name is the RSS Ice Ice Baby. And now, joining us from sports is Chris Venson. Chris?
Boaty McBoatface, I love it. That's fantastic. Well, you know what else is fantastic? March Madness. Coming up out of the break, we'll take a look at what all went down in Syracuse basketball this weekend. Plus highlights from SU men's lacrosse. Stick around.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
Everybody has a dream.
mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Well, from the tournament bubble to the Sweet 16, the SU men's basketball team had an unlikely run this weekend in the Big Dance. On Sunday, they thumped Middle Tennessee State 75 to 50, with everything coming together in this one for the Cuse. Middle Tennessee State's top 3 scorers went 8 for 31 from the field. Michael Benajay lit it up, you can tell, 23 points and 3 steals. It's his 34th time he scored in double digits this season. It's amazing stuff from the big man. Now, Coach Benajay did not criticize Tyler Roberson, but he did say that Michael Benajay will need to continue to play well if Syracuse hopes to advance further in the tournament.
I thought the second half we just got our offense under control and we executed. And, Mike knocked down a couple really hard shots that got us a little space.
I'm just focused on time possession, looking at the scoreboard, just trying to make sure that each possession we had the lead, and I just want to come out and compete and try to win.
I mean, it feels good. I mean, to get into the NCAA tournament feels good, and then to win both of these games, I mean, it's unbelievable. We just got to keep it going.
There's a lot to be done, a lot can be done, a lot of good things can happen, and we have to focus on that the next game and not really look backwards. There'll be time to look backwards someday.
So now the Orange will travel to Chicago on Saturday to face Gonzaga in the Sweet 16. But more from March Madness, more of the same for the Orange. The women's team beat Albany 76 to 59, holding the Great Danes to 33% shooting from the field and 11% from three-point range. Brittany Sykes and Alexis Peterson showed up. They both dropped 20 in the win. The victory continues the ladies' magical season. This is the farthest they've ever made it in the ACC NCAA tournament. Coach Hillsman and the team are excited about their success, but they're not too surprised. They've had these goals since the start of the year.
We're building, and I think that every year when I have that beginning of the year press conference and everyone say what are your expectations, and I say to go undefeated and go to a national championship, everyone write that down and kind of smirks and put it in the article and say what Coach Q said. And it's our goal every year, is to win a national championship. For us to do the way we did it here and doing it in front of a large crowd, nothing is more gratifying than that.
We've worked extremely, extremely hard to get to this point. The last couple years, we've come up short. So to get over this hump is big for us and it's big for our team.
It was just one of those feelings where it was a long time coming. This program has been building itself since Coach Q began it, and now that we, are going to the Sweet 16, we can go farther than that. That's not our goal. We won the game, but now it's win the rest of them.
Let's swing it on over to Syracuse men's lacrosse, where they took on St. John Hopkins this weekend on Saturday. And in Baltimore, the drama was as thick as the rainfall. Heading into the game, we'll fast forward right to the fourth quarter. Nick Mariano sneaks it around the corner. Take another look. That puts Cuse up 9-8 in the middle of the fourth. Fast forwarding now, 38 seconds left in the game. The Blue Jays down by 1. Ryan Brown cocks, fires, and ties the game up at 10. We're heading to overtime. In sudden death, Drew Sapinski looking, searches, but Warren Hill deflects it. The rebound picked up by Wilkins Dismuke. He collects the rebound and scores. John Hopkins goes on to win 11-10 heading into this game. And guys, when you look at the game, Syracuse was outshot by John Hopkins 36-26. They just had a lot more opportunities in this game. Ultimately, I believe, was the downfall for the Syracuse Orange.
So Chris, this is the first loss for the men's lacrosse team this season. How does that affect them as they move forward?
Well, moving forward, they're a good team. It's hard to defeat the fact that they have not lost in the season. We're going to be facing Duke on Saturday. Historically has been a great team, and they're still a pretty good, darn good team despite a couple of questionable losses. I feel like Dylan Donahue is going to perform on Saturday. I cannot wait to see what happens in that game.
And moving on over to men's basketball, a lot of people were surprised to see Cuse in the Sweet 16. What is your bracket shaping up to look like now?
Well, my bracket, like a lot of others, I think is busted. There's just so many teams, so many upsets. They have had 3 I believe it was 3 last-second shots for game winners just yesterday. That ties for the NCAA tournament record for all time. I had Michigan State going to the national championship. However, that didn't work out, but good for Syracuse, right? Because they get to face Middle Tennessee State, who they beat, and now they move on to face Gonzaga in the Sweet 16. I think that Syracuse can do it this year. They're doing really well.
Well, my bracket's definitely busted, but you can't forget about the women's team. They're playing incredibly well in the women's tournament.
Well, they've been, like I said, the entire year, they have been Syracuse's best team. Discounting the women's field hockey team, they won the national championship in their sport. I feel that this team has a chance, if they can get past UConn, or if UConn falters at any point, I feel like Syracuse women's basketball can win the whole thing. They get turnovers, and when they take the ball away from teams, they turn it into points. You saw they had 20 points off turnovers in their last game. This team is really rallying at the right time and getting hot.
It's exciting. We'll definitely be rooting for them here. Coming up after the break, a major social media site celebrates their anniversary.
Thank you, dear. Well, you're very supple. Just like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
Preventing wildfires. That's all Smokey wants for his 70th birthday.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed all that.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
So Rebecca, tomorrow morning when we wake up, what kind of weather are we looking at?
It's going to be partly cloudy tomorrow morning. You may have the sun peeking out every now and then, so you're probably going to definitely want to layer up because the clouds are going to come in for the rest of the day.
And now that we're into spring, April's right around the corner. How much longer can we expect these snow showers?
Well, honestly, I'm thinking this week is going to be one of the last weeks we see snow showers. We may expect some flurries here and there throughout this month and the rest of next month, but I think this is going to be one of our last weeks of snow.
That's good to hear. And guys, today is a pretty big day. I don't know if you all realize it is Twitter's 10th anniversary. It's hard to believe Twitter has been around for 10 years now. What was your all's first tweets like? Do you know?
I just remember on one of my first days joining Twitter, Justin Bieber followed me back, which was surprising. I didn't know that celebrities didn't follow regular people back. So I was shocked to see that the verified account followed me back. I have no idea why, but it's kind of exciting.
And does he still follow you?
Yes, he still follows me. Don't know why, but he does.
Okay, do you have any celebrity followers, either of you?
The most famous person that follows me is executive producer Carling Mott. Honestly, there's no big story behind it. I just was blessed with her follow one day. It was a true honor.
That's a big follow, though. That's congrats on that.
That's what I said. I did a little dance, but enough. I don't know.
You, Josh, any exciting followers?
None to talk about. My favorite thing I follow is definitely at CitrusTV News. Everyone should follow that. That's all for our show tonight. I'm Josh Bazan.
And I'm Katherine Robinson. Have a great night.